Hi there, it's Melissa and Ava, and today I have a layout to show you that I made, I think about a week ago, and I used an exclusive cut file from my May Hip kit, and it's this beautiful floral banner, and I cut it on, I think it's from Paige Evans' Oh My Heart, the paper that had the different colours and it had polka dots on it. I knew I wanted to use that paper in a special way, and I randomly, I think, really focused on the yellow part of that paper. So I knew that I wanted to back my piece of white cardstock on some of the yellow cardstock. I had still been ordering the cardstock add-on at this point, and so I wanted to use some of it up. And so I'd cut this quite large. I wanted it to be a focal piece in the centre of my page. And I have a photo of Azaria on her birthday. And every year I make a page about my children at the age that they are, and I do a little interview about some of their favourites. So here I wanted to add something behind where my photo will go, and I decided to keep this layout very monochromatic. So I'm doing different shades of yellow watercolour, just splattering it on. I did think about doing the packaging technique, but I decided just to do lots of splatters. And I've really sped this video up just because time's very limited at the moment. And while that's drying, I've got some white vellum, and I'm just taking the inside pieces of that banner and trimming around them so that there's an edge on them. And then I'm just going to glue the vellum back in. Instead of those bits of paper, glue the vellum in. You can see what I mean. And that worked really well. So once again, just trimming it out. There were 3 pieces that needed to be trimmed for this one. And loving using my little fine line bottle. So the final piece to go. And what I'd done ahead of time was go through the kit and pull out all the yellow items that I thought would work really well. I did consider doing blue as well, because there is blue on the left side of that cut file, but I felt that I'd just keep it yellow, and I love the way this turns out. And it amazes me how you can make so many different layouts with only what you're restricted by in your kit. You can have so many different layouts, so many different looks, and you'd never know that it all came from the same kit. So then I dried off those ink splatters watercolour splatters that weren't dry, and I've added some Mr. Huey's from Studio Calico. I don't think many people use this anymore. Well, not that I see here on YouTube anyway. So I dug deep into my stash and found that yellow. I think it's called Desert. And here I've got my paper piercer, and I just pierced holes and I stitched. And I didn't show much of it because my battery died, but I found it really difficult to stitch because that cut file was so thin. So a good hint is to glue it onto your cardstock background or pattern paper background, then poke the holes and then do the stitching. So I had to work in reverse a bit, but there was one tiny tear, but you'd never know looking at it now. So here I have popped my photo up on some foam, and then I'm just gluing that leaf back onto the photo. And then I'm placing these buttons, and I just put a bit of glue behind them. And later on, once that glue's dry, I come back and stitch with, I think, white thread. So now I'm wanting to pop up some of these leaves, otherwise this banner and flowers is very flat. And I'm just trimming out those Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. And I use a lot of the edge pieces to get a thinner piece, or you can cut them in half. So I'm happy with how that's looking. And you can really see the difference that a small amount of dimension can make on your layout. So now I've got some of the chipboard from Maggie Holmes. I can't remember what the name of the collection is, but you get the full chipboard sheet. And I had taken the sticky back off, and if you find with chipboard you can pull some of the layers away so that they're not as thick, and that's what I did with these. They're still pretty thick though. I'd fussy cut out some flowers out of that Chamel Little by Little paper, and that's what you can see next to that ticket. And I've got a heart from the chipboard, and now I'm looking at my title. Those are from last month's kit. I hardly use any of them, and I'm wanting to because I love them so much. I'm using some yellow enamel dots, and as you can see, I've hardly got any enamel dots left. And then I think this font also, I just adore it. It's also from last month's kit, and I'm not happy with how this looked in the end. I didn't think about it when I did it, but the way I've spelt 8 and the way I've placed the letters is a bit odd, but I think it works. I mean, it does cover the banner. I probably should have brought the T and the, well, I should have brought the H and the T up and brought the other 3 letters down. But anyway, you can see that it reads 8, and I do love the font so much. So here I am super speedily gluing down sequins. These didn't come in the kit, but I had them just left over from something else, and they're yellow, and they went perfectly with my layout. So off camera I will add the journaling because I needed to ask her what some of her favourites were. And here's the final layout and some close-ups for you. Thank you so much for watching.